Trojans basketball team on QSBOnlive.com. With me, I've got Jay Allen, a first-year head coach. And Coach, thanks for being with us today.
You're welcome.
So, kind of give me a rundown, the basic rundown of the season. How do you think things went, and how do you think things progressed this year?
Well, this being my first year back after a few years hiatus, I thought we did really well coming into ourselves. We're a young team, and we gained experience every time we put foot on the court. And one of my goals this year was for them to come together as a team, play as a team, not just try to do it all themselves. And I think we accomplished a lot towards that. I was very pleased to see that. We were 13-10, finishing the season with a challenge game against Ennis. That was a good experience for the kids.
Yeah, that was a rough game. They're just a really good team. Both them and Twin Bridges.
Yeah.
Twin Bridges had a guy on that team that he was bigger than I am, and I'm a big guy, but he was tough to handle. So is that part maybe of the program? I know there was, you told me Riley and some of the guys had gained weight over last year. Is that something you're kind of looking for them maybe to start to grow into and start to get that more adult body as they get older?
Yeah, definitely. That's one thing that I left them with in the locker room that Monday night after the challenge game, to where I told them, let's get into the gym. Let's get a ball in our hand. Let's make sure that we get into the weight room so that we get stronger and are able to do just that much more come next year. And hopefully they buy into that. I think for the most part they are, because a lot of them are already lifting weights in school. They're in a class dedicated to weight training. And I do see a lot of progress as far as their strength and fitness is concerned.
This year seemed to be that there wasn't necessarily one guy that kind of stood out. You guys really had a lot of weapons from a lot of different places. And I think of Jay and Leroy. Those are two tall guys that both can leap really well.
Right.
Riley, I'm sorry, Jay. What am I saying? That's you. But yeah, Riley and Leroy really jump very well, and I think both of them have a pretty good medium range jump shot. They're not just one-dimensional guys.
Yeah. I was looking at that throughout the season, and I think we had 6 different people throughout the season lead the team in scoring.
Wow.
So we do have a pretty balanced attack, which is only going to help us here in the future, because we aren't one-dimensional. This year I preached the fact that we need to pound the ball inside before we open up the outside, and because of that, it did open up our opportunities, especially as the year progressed towards tournaments, to where we were getting a lot of nice open looks from the outside, and I think we gained a little bit more comfort with the shooting rules that I implemented, and we were able to play, I think, pretty much within ourselves.
Was that something this year that I think you kind of indicated to me at one point? This having some shooting rules, having some of those things was a little bit new to them, I think, this year.
It was, and it was hard for a lot of them to swallow at first, but I kept encouraging them and asking them, making sure that they understood why we're doing this, because that was important to me. To help us get to where we want to be, not just running up and down the court and shooting. Our first look is important. Dribbling down the sideline and just shooting a three-pointer. Wanted to improve the shooting percentage, and the way that I approached that is, we need to shoot layups, and we need to make a good attempt to have most of our shots come within 8 feet of the basket.
A better quality shot
Higher
selection.
percentage shots, yes.
And so, I noticed, again, going kind of back to the aspect of the varied attacks, you had the two postmen underneath. You had people like Luke and Colby who could hit from pretty good range. And, of course, Colby and his junior counterpart there, Damien, somehow find a way to split the lane like nobody's business. I mean, sometimes they're a little out of control, it looks like, but they really are able to penetrate in there and find some lanes to pass off to and then sometimes shoot.
Right. I really enjoyed watching those two. They're fearless. And that's exactly what, I wanted to point guard, someone that can take the ball at the defense, make defenders commit to them, and find the open guy. And if they don't, both of them can shoot.
Yeah. And so, now as we look toward next year, you guys have some good JV players coming up, but then of course there was kind of the elephant in the room this year with Mark Estes, who helped the coach. Clearly a Class A ball player who I think, you guys just missed having around this year.
Yeah, he definitely would have helped, and it would have been nice to have him in the mix of things for sure this year. And it was great that he wanted to come and be with the team, help us out on the bench. And so not only just so he continues to be with the guys, but he actually saw what we were trying to do and heard a lot of the things that I was telling the boys. So it's not going to be like a foreign language next year.
I think that speaks a lot to his character to want to be part of this. He could have just sat out and moped, but I interviewed him for a story back in the fall, and he's clearly not that guy. Not at all.
He's a great kid.
Yeah. So this year, anybody kind of that it seemed like it really seemed to me like there wasn't one guy that kind of stuck out. Everybody kind of kept making progress as a team. Was there anybody who you saw maybe personally kind of start to come into their own a little bit more?
I think Jonah. He grew a lot this year. He always had a good shot, and it's only going to get better. But defensively, he stepped up this game, and my shooting rules helped develop his game offensively to where now he's not only a shooter, but he can slash to the rim and pull up to that 10-footer, and it was really effective.
Yeah.
Leroy Davis, I thought especially the second half of the season, he improved immensely. He always seemed to be there, right spot, right time, rebound-wise. Got a lot of offensive rebounds with some good looks, and he really came into it.
He and Andrew Gomez seem to be really good at finding space in there. Now, they're like anybody that's younger. They don't always box out, but those two seem to find the right angle a lot of times to get the ball. They were really, I think, instrumental in the way you guys played this year.
Yeah, and Andrew, when he got into the game, I would tell him, go in there and do what you do best, rebound. Because, like you said, he has a knack for knowing where that ball is going to go. And if it weren't for the fact that he was 5'9", if he was 6'2", he would be a really
He'd be tough. He'd be tough.
handful.
And I have to say, Leroy and Luke were really two players that I admire from the standpoint that they were more than willing to use a bank shot, where a lot of kids don't tend to do that anymore. That seems like it's almost a lost art.
Yeah. Luke is a dynamic player. If you could have, 10 players like Luke.
And he
just such a big heart, and he does whatever you ask of him. And he does. He has a great jump shot, and he kind of came into his own midway through the season, especially scoring. He became more confident, and he probably had 6 to 10 points every game from mid-season on. And so it's going to be exciting next year to where to see how these guys develop over the summer, the time that they told me they want to spend, and see where they are next year.
And so you guys only lose Ryan Helmo and Johnny Reynolds.
Right.
They were both more or less reserve players. I mean, they weren't major starters. And they contributed a lot. But, man, there's a group of guys coming back, and you toss Mark into that mix, and things have got to be looking bright. So for your off-season, we talked a little bit about the Lady Trojans in a previous segment. What kind of things are you looking at? Have you got any kind of camps or anything kind of organized for the guys this year?
You know, we'll do open gyms at least 4 days a week. We do that alongside the girls, and Sarah and I are gonna try to promote heavily that 5,000 to 10,000 shot club, because that makes a big difference. I implemented that with the junior high girls when I coached them about 15 years ago here at Drummond. And, you know, not all of them got there, but it got them excited, and you could see the benefit that getting their butt into the gym or just shooting at the house or whatever. That's really basketball's a funny thing, funny sport, because if you don't do it, you're not gonna get better.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, that 10,000 make thing is scary for me, considering I shot 42% from the field in high school. So I'd had to take about 22,000 shots, which I'm not sure I could have done.
I'm also looking at a team camp, or trying to get them to some individual skill camps. So we'll see about that. Where, I don't know yet. Maybe Gonzaga. I really like Mark Pugh and what he's done with the Bulldogs out there. And you know, I've kind of lived and died preaching the shooting on one of his principles. He makes his players attest to game shots, the game spots, the game speed.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Jay, thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate you being here. This has been Jay Allen, and I'm Tim Allen, and we're going to look for good things next year with the Drummond Trojan basketball program. For QSDNlive.com, this has been Tim Allen.